Hello, we're going to use this as an opportunity to go over some sample DAT questions, specifically questions as it relates to the survey of the natural sciences. Remember, there are three sections to this particular aspect of questions. That is going to be the biology, the general chemistry, and the organic chemistry. So we're going to look at some sample questions, at least one example of each type from each section. The biology question. A segment of DNA with the sequence G, G, C, A, T, T, A, G, G would be transcribed into a messenger RNA segment with which of the following sequences? Is it choice A, B, C, D, or E? So when we look at a question like this, we have to have one approach, and one of the key themes that you're going to see throughout with any type of standardized testing is looking for questions that have direct outliers or things that you can include. So in a case like this, what hopefully you would be knowledgeable of already is that RNA, when DNA is transcribed to RNA, you do not include thymine. There are no T's present. So G stands for guanine, C cytosine, A adenine, and T thymine. But in RNA you have uracil. So when it's time to actually transcribe it, your G will go into becoming a C, and your C will become a G, your A will become a U, and your T will become an A. So based on these rules, we can rule out the fact that we know no RNA segment should ever have thymine present. So that allows us to cross out, just from looking at the choices, we can cross out choice B, C, and E. That leaves us now with choice A and D. Now, like I said, G's are going to become C's, so the only logical choice for this particular question is selection A, and that is your answer. Now, with the general chemistry section, let's look at this question. The three common isotopes of oxygen, 16, 17, and 18, have which of the following? Is it A, the same atomic number and an equation or equal number of protons, the same mass number and an equal number of neutrons, C, the same atomic number and an equal number of neutrons, D, the same mass number and an equal number of protons, or E, the same mass number and an equal number of electrons? So if you go back to the very basic definition of an isotope, we know that the atomic number will stay the same, but the mass number is what changes. So we look at these choices and immediately we're able to rule out choices B, D, and E because the mass numbers are never going to remain the same. That leaves us with choices A and C. Now, the next piece to know is to remember the basic definition of an isotope. And if you don't recall this, then that may be a challenge in approaching a question like this. But in this particular case, the concept being tested is whether or not you know that the weight of these three isotopes are each different. And if you recall, there is only going to be certain features or certain particles have a certain weight. So the actual answer here to this is going to be A, the same atomic number and an equal number of protons. You're not going to have an equal number of neutrons because the neutrons is what gives the density or the mass to each of these particles. Let's take on an organic chemistry question. Which is the IUPAC name for this compound? Is it A, 4-methyl-1-hexene, B, 4-ethyl-1-pentene, C, 2-ethyl-4-pentene, D, sec-butylpropylene, or E, 3-methyl-5-hexene? So when we look at this compound to the side, initially you may be looking for, well, how many carbons do I have in a row? And initially you may jump to circling these, saying, well, here I see 5 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, in reality, that would be incorrect. There is actually a longer chain present in this compound structure picture. Therefore, since there are structures longer than 5 carbon chains in this particular picture, we can rule out your pentenes and your propylenes. So B, C, and D are our outliers that can automatically now be removed from the list, leaving us with choice A and choice E. Now, choice A and E tells us that in reality there is a chain present that is longer than 5 carbons, and that chain would actually be this here. This represents your 6 carbon chain, which is what gives the name hex to it, and the ene is because of the double bond that's present. So you have a hexene. The next level to this is to determine which number do we start with, which way do we count, because in the answer choices we can either have a methyl group at carbon number 4 or the methyl group at carbon number 3. So the question becomes, do we start our count here or do we do our count here? Well, the actual answer is we're going to start with the carbon that's closest to this particular double bond, and so we actually start our count in this direction: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means that the methyl group is actually attached to carbon number 4. So the actual answer choice here is A, 4-methyl 1-hexene. So there are an array of resources that you may want to use, and for this presentation segment we specifically use the information found on the ADA website. If you go to ada.org/en/education-careers/dental-admission-test and then click on test preparation and find the link entitled DAT Sample Test Items, you will see these exact questions that you have just seen and many more for you that you can use as a resource and a practice. And there are other resources there. You're not limited to this one resource, but practice, practice, practice. Aim for those high scores, and best wishes to you in your journey. Thank you.